Having absolutely loved driving my 420, I fancied having something the same, but with a bit more of a sporty look to it. And the same engine, because by this point I'd realised just how good Rover's 2-litre engine actually was. So, back on eBay, and I found a 220 GTI. And it was mine for, how much was it? £520. No, 515. It looks good in the pictures. So off I went from Farnborough in Hampshire all the way up to Macclesfield to go and buy this car. I went with the man now known as Senior Mustard and my friend Darren. We went in the Senior Mustard's Vauxhall Vectra that he had at the time, that he hadn't warmed to. He didn't like it. He said he used to give it a kick every time he got out of it. He was so disinterested in it, he didn't even mind people smoking it, and he hates smoking. Yeah, so quite a trek to Macclesfield to go and pick up a car that you've won on eBay and you haven't actually seen except for 2 pictures. But when we got there, it was absolutely gleaming. It was so much nicer than I could have imagined. Well, I mean, I did imagine it, but it was nicer than what I did imagine. I probably could have imagined it to be quite as nice as it was, but I just wasn't expecting it to be as nice as what I could have imagined. That does make sense. There's no rust on it anywhere. The paint was absolutely gleaming. All the black plastic trim was properly black. Everything worked, and it started on the button, and it felt a bit like I had a boy racer's car. It had that kind of smell inside as well. And it was the kind of car you could just feel was cherished. And the brakes worked very well. And I know that because we only got about half a mile down the road when this cat ran out in front of me, and I swerved successfully to not run it over into the other side of the road. Luckily there was nothing coming. I got my GTI home from Macclesfield and instantly wanted to go to the shop or something, anything just to go out for a drive in it. I was besotted by this car, and I think I still would be if I had it again. So this became my new work car. Off I was, travelling around the schools in this car, teaching guitar with my induction kit. I can't really think of anything bad to say about this car. The only thing is, it did start to deteriorate a little bit as the years went by. I can think of a few examples. I remember driving along and there was kind of this bobbing sensation like this, and I needed to slow down. I went for the brake and there was no brake. I got out and had a look, and the rear disc was glowing red because the caliper was sticking. Then one day it started to sound a bit like a Subaru Impreza. Not because it had a flat 4, but because it had blown a valve, so it was running on 3 cylinders. At this point I knew it needed a new cylinder head. And well, that's what it got. The old 420 GSI became a donor car. That one was past its best. It was starting to rot, all the sills were going on it and things like that. That car wasn't really worth anything at the time, but it had a good cylinder head, and that's what went on top of my GTI. Now, the GTI never felt quite as quick as the GSI for some reason, which was odd because obviously it's a small car with the same engine. That was until the point came when I pushed the exhaust all the way through and got all the stuff that was basically clogging it up, and then suddenly it was brilliant. Yeah, it really went with a nice good rasp from a single back box with no baffling on the inside. Around this time, if I fancied having a car, I had a wage every month, so I'd just go and buy it. And then eventually the GTI just kind of sat in the car park for a while, and when the MOT ran out, I honestly didn't think it was going to pass another one because there was a bit of a clunk on the steering. Looking back, it was probably nothing. There's a good chance it would have just gone straight through an MOT, but I didn't know much about them, and so I sold it to someone on eBay for £150, or was it 250? Might have been 250 actually. Whatever the case, it's a decision I've regretted.